animals, one neuron can perform all the functions of the nervous system. So an example of this ancient animals, it is Hydra. So in the body of Hydra, there are numerous neurons, and each of these neurons is responsible for a definite part of the body, and it can perceive an irritation, analyze the data, send the signal to target cell for the response, and these neurons are connected with each other by means of their processes. So such type of nervous system structure is named diffuse type. So it is the simplest, and this is not very reliable because there is one neuron, it is responsible for its own region. In case of injury or damage of this neuron, the whole region loses all of its functions, like it cannot perceive an irritation, it cannot react anyhow, so this is not very reliable type of nervous system. With the time, for example, if we talk about these worms, yes, earthworms, we know that body of the worm consists of segments, yes, and nervous system of such animals also consists of equal segments. Such type of nervous system structure is known as nodular type. So it consists of ganglia or nodes, equal in function and structure nodes. They are located in every segment, and they are connected also by processes of neurons. This type is better developed because these nodes or ganglia, they consist of group of neurons, yes? In case of injury or loss of 1, 2, 3 neurons, function will not be lost because the other neurons, they can replace them, yes? Without any deficiency, neurological deficiency. Certainly it is also very primitive, and because there is no main node, a main center, all of them are equal in their functioning, we here can deal with such a process like a regeneration. Yes, for example, what will happen if we cut this earthworm into 2 halves? What will happen?
There is no transformation because nodes are divided.
And so what will happen with this part of the worm and this part of the worm?
There is not cells are present.
Worm, will he die or not?
No.
What will happen?
Cells are.
Did you try to do it in your childhood? You lost your childhood. Ashok, what will happen with this part and this part of worm?
They are similarly not transferred from.
I'm not asking you about this, what will be transmitted and what will be not. I'm asking you, but this part of worm, will it live or not?
Live.
And this?
It also live.
Yeah, this will also live. That if we divide worm into 2 halves, we will get 2 new worms. Yes, because there is no main center. Each of them each center is independent from another. Yes, that's why this part of worm will move in this direction. This part of worm will move in this direction. With the time, they will recreate new segments, and it will be a longer and longer worm. Yes, take your seat, please. If we try to do the same with a human, yes, like cut him into 2 pieces, like along the transverse plane, for example, like legs will not move in one direction and hands in the other, yes, because certainly the nervous system of humans is much better developed because we have a single center brain that regulates all of our processes. Life of humans is impossible without the brain. So this is nodular. For highest animals, type of nervous system is tubular. What does it mean? So first of all, we have to recall structure of multi-layered embryo. Yes, you remember that after fertilization, the zygote undergoes several stages like morula, blastula, and then finally gastrula or multi-layered embryo. Yes, at the stage of gastrula, embryo consists of 3 embryonic layers. This is transverse section, like metadril, like it was an embryo, And we cut it in transverse plane, yes, transverse section. And now we can see three embryonic layers. The innermost layer is endoderm. Yes, the middle one it is mesoderm. And the outermost layer it is ectoderm. So we are recalling this structure in previous semester and in the first semester many times. Every time before the beginning to study new system of organs, we were saying about embryogenesis, yes? So we can say that, for example, both urinary and genital systems, they are developed from intermediate mesoderm, and that's why they even belong to one single apparatus, yes, urogenital apparatus. And for digestive system, we can say that endothelium, like mucosa of whole organs, is formed by endoderm, and all the other layers of the wall, they are formed by mesoderm, bilateral plate mesoderm. So now, when we talk about nervous system, from which embryonic layer is it formed?
Ectoderm.
Yes, it is formed by from ectoderm. So this is ventral part of embryo, this is dorsal part of embryo, where there is his back, yes? And the very first stage of the development of nervous system in humans, it starts at the third week of embryonic development. This is a neural plate. What does it mean? So this group of cells at the dorsal part of ectoderm of an embryo, they begin to proliferate rapidly and they form thickening, kind of thickening, and this is known as neural plate. Neural plate. Then with the time, a few days later, like the cells, they continue proliferating. And due to a lack of space, the middle part of this plate starts to invaginate, like move inwards, yes? And the next stage of the formation of nervous system in humans, it is neural groove. Neural groove. And these margins of neural groove, they are known as neural edges. Neural edges. Then, the next thing that happens, this proliferation goes on, and these neural edges, they start moving towards each other, and they get separated from the rest ectoderm, and they move inwards the embryo. So that's why the next stage of nervous system development is named neural tube. Neural tube. And these parts of like edges, margins of ectoderm, they join together to form its derivative skin, appendages of skin, and the other yes, organs which also developed from an ectoderm. So finally, neural tube is formed. Now, if it was transverse section, now we will make a sagittal section, and what will we see? So this neural tube has cranial end that is closer to cranium, to the head, yes, and caudal end that is closer to the tail. Humans do not have tail, but during embryogenesis, embryos, they form tail. So, and with the time, and on the 5th week of embryonic development, at the cranial end, enlargement is formed that will further give origin to the brain. Formation of the brain undergoes two stages. Stage of primary brain vesicles and stage of secondary brain vesicles. This we have to know very well because during the description of any part of the brain, we have to know embryogenesis of each of these parts. So primary, brain vesicles and secondary brain vesicles. Primary brain vesicles, they are three. And yes. So anterior brain vesicle is named prosencephalon. Then this middle brain vesicle is named mesencephalon. Mesencephalon. And posterior brain vesicle is named rhombencephalon. Rhombencephalon. Secondary brain vesicles, they are 5. So with the time, prosencephalon is divided into 2 more, and it gets divided into telencephalon. Telencephalon that will later form cerebral hemispheres, corpus callosum, so this cerebrum, which we consider as a brain usually, yes, and diencephalon, or interbrain. So this telencephalon is end brain in English, diencephalon is interbrain, prosencephalon is forebrain. So each Greek name has English name. You will read it. It's not difficult. So diencephalon gives origin to thalamus, hypothalamus, pituitary gland, yes, also all of these structures. Then mesencephalon is not divided and it forms midbrain at the end. And rhombencephalon is also divided into 2 vesicles and it forms metencephalon. Metencephalon. These structures of metencephalon form cerebellum and pons, and myelencephalon, which will later form medulla oblongata. Myelencephalon. So brain is the very last structure that is developed in nervous system, and its structure is very complicated, and it doesn't resemble structure of nervous system of ancient animals, unlike spinal cord. Now we'll talk with you about spinal cord, and we will see that spinal cord, because it is more ancient structure, it still saved its segmental structure. So segments are parts which are similar to each other, yes, and like in these earthworms, yes, they are similar, but later we will see that still each segment is responsible for different part of our body, and some segments have autonomic centers, some segments do not have, so there is a difference, but spinal cord saves its segmental structure unlike the brain, that is totally unique. So, and now let's, questions? No. Now let's see what we can see in the preparation. Oh, I think I forgot.